I die. Hallelujah, by and by I'll fly away.
Thank you very much, Judy. I love that song, I'll Fly Away. If you've ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, you'll know that song. Welcome to First Parish in Needham, everybody. It's a Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Claire Galkowski, and my husband Jan and I, Jan is sitting right there in the front, discovered First Parish Needham through the Homegrown Coffee House and became members in 2016. I have sung in the choir. I love helping Leslie Meyer and Muriel with social hour cleanup, and I channel my passion for keeping our little planet habitable by serving on the Green Congregation Committee. We've experienced the love and support of this beloved community during 2 major health scares. In our church, members come from a wide range of religious backgrounds, and we hold various and evolving views on theology. It's our shared values as expressed in our 7 principles, covenant, and chalice extinguishing verse that bind us together in community. You can learn more about all that's happening at this church by going to our website, uuneedham.org, where you can sign up for our weekly email newsletter. You can also follow us on social media. We at First Parish are glad you are joining us, whether here in Parish Hall or online. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your background or identity, whatever your age or stage, whether you walked or rolled in, and you're here in the sanctuary or online, you are welcome here. I'd like to extend a special bienvenido to our guest preacher, Diego Garrido Barreto. Hailing from Colombia, Diego is a Unitarian Universalist aspirant. He holds a Master of Divinity from Boston University School of Theology, is a spiritual director in training with the Spiritual Life Center, and now serves as their first Latino intern at the First Church in Chestnut Hill. For those here in Parish Hall, please stay for social hour so we can get to know each other better. Welcome again, everyone, here in the building and online. We are so glad you're here.
I have to go down a little bit, but so this is the funny thing. I was yesterday thinking about how to do this chalice lighting and integrate the Ritz crackers, and I was thinking on the song Putting on the Ritz. So, and then I said, what if I rewrite a little part of the song and maybe make fun of it, and in that fun and joy we feel together as community. So I will try to sing it. Have you seen the well-to-do up on Capitol Avenue, on that famous White House chair, with their noses in the air, orange skin, yellow wigs, white smell of $1 million, spending every dime in a 4-year time. If you're red and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where Lincoln sits? Putting on the Ritz. Office clowns from great again to great go down, makes blue fire and all misfits. Putting on the Ritz. Thank you.
Well, that was a very fun chalice lighting reading there. Thank you very much, Diego. Gracias. In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the covenant is a set of promises, that the membership of a congregation strives to honor with one another and out in the world. Please say along with me the words of our parish covenant as in your orders of service and on the screen. We gather as a loving community to encourage and comfort one another. We gather as a diverse community to support each other in our search for spiritual truths. We gather as a service community to live our beliefs through action and care for our world. Okay, Chris is going to play our first hymn for us called There's a River Flowing in My Soul. It's number 1007 in your teal hymnals, which I should grab a copy. You can stand and dance if you want.
Flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind.
Love that song. So now is the time to share the milestones of our lives with one another. If you're here with us in Parish Hall, please come forward, give us your name and pronouns, drop a stone in the water, and share what is on your heart this morning. If you're watching online during the service in real time, you may share your joy or concern in the chat box. Since we're live streaming this service, we cannot guarantee the privacy of your words, but you may contact our Pastoral Care Associate of the Week, who is Rick Vincent, to speak in a more private setting, or reach out by email, or reach out by email to pastoralcare@uuneedham.org. Okay, I'd like to start. I'm sorry, Gail. I'd like to put a stone in for our congregant, Suzanne Pelton, who is having hernia surgery tomorrow. So please keep her in your thoughts and hearts and prayers if you do that. So.
I have joys. I had my whole family there at our family camp for a week, and then my son Will and just turned 3-year-old granddaughter Clementine were here for a week. So I feel really blessed this summer.
I'm Judy Hadrick, and my pronouns are she and hers, and this stone in the water is from my friend Paul, who lives next door to me and has been a longtime friend, and has had many years of very bad depression, but unfortunately the beginning of last week. He sustained a stroke, and he is now in a rehab facility getting physical and occupational therapy, and we hope that he will be able to return home soon.
Thank you, Judy.
Hi, my name is Emily, and my pronouns are she and her. And I would appreciate if you could all keep my mom and grandma in your thoughts and prayers as she's going through a hard health crisis.
Well, it looks like that's it. I'd also like to share a joy. Hopefully it's okay with you, Jan, that we will be expecting our 4th grandchild in January in London. Okay, your turn.
Many things, but first, I forgot to introduce part of the hymn we just sang, and second, I have some sorrows and joys. You see me very laughy and funny and joyful. I am, but at the same time, my country has a lot of trouble, a mess. If your country is a mess, well, you haven't been into my country, so. Yeah, well, there was a candidate for presidency who was shot like 5 streets away of my family's house, and he passed away. And even though he was a conservative, nobody deserves to die. So it was a very sad moment just weeks ago. And for Joyce, I have this new internship, and I will say this because there's a recording on Zoom. Thank you, Christine M, because I have finally a work permit. It's like I applied in May and they just approved it in August. Like a long time of waiting just to work, right? I wanted to work. Everything is in peace. Everything is in peace. And for another part, the hymn that I wanted to talk about was composed by Feya Ora Rose Touré, born Rose M. Gaines in 1945. She's an American civil rights activist and lawyer who was Alabama's first black woman judge. And she changed her slave name, according to Wikipedia, and took the name of the first president of Guinea. As a litigator, she won more than $1 billion in damages from the U.S. Department of Agriculture for black farmers in the largest civil rights case in American history. Wow! We were singing with this, connected to her, connected to all that she did. That was amazing. And now I want to embrace this moment of prayer, meditation, however it feels right for you, to feel this joy and sorrow in community. So, for all the joys and sorrows that we still hold in our hearts, and in acknowledging the prayers of our neighbors, near and far, we place these 3 final stones in water, remembering that even though many of us cannot be here in this morning, we are deeply connected. For all the things we wanted to say and we didn't, felt this was the right time, for all the things that we hold in that silence. I also want to pray today, meditate today in this moment, embracing a love beyond all of us. I want to do this exercise with all of you so that also we can move and feel more connected, because this service also is with your bodies. Not just me moving and maybe dancing, no. So I'm going to do this exercise, and I would love if you could replicate this in a very circular way so everyone pass the energy. So, is everyone listening? Yeah, okay. I'm going to do this like a bubble of energy, and I'm going to pass it to the music director, and then he will put it to another person as possible, somebody more circular, like if you think of maybe passing it to him or to him, and in a way everyone can pass that energy, but I hope that energy comes back to me, please. So you'll be responsible to giving back that energy for that prayer. We are connected. Thank you. Now I have the moment of the reading, which is not a sacred text, but it's just the history of Ritz crackers. This is from backthenhistory.com by Lauren Cabral. So Nabisco debuted Ritz crackers in 1934 solely in Philadelphia and Baltimore, but expanded nationally in 1935. The company took full advantage of the Ritz name, which was associated with luxury thanks to Cesar Ritz luxury hotels. Putting on the Ritz. Nabisco capitalized on this and ran advertisements showing the crackers being served to golfers and passengers on luxury cruise ships. Released around the height of the Great Depression, the crackers allowed struggling Americans to get a taste of luxury. Although the crackers cost an affordable 19 cents a box, I haven't seen those prices here. They were seen as luxurious even by the wealthy and were served to rich patrons at high-end hotels like the New York's famed Waldorf Astoria. The crackers were named by Nabisco's commercial artist Sidney S. Stern, who was given just one weekend to come up with the branding for the company's new buttery cracker. Just one weekend. Interestingly, Stern's logo design was inspired by a label he noticed inside of his own hat. Notably, the modern logo still closely resembles this original version. Ritz crackers were incredibly popular during the Great Depression and continued to be so during World War II and beyond. Interestingly, they were even used in frugal, ration-friendly baking as a fake apple pie filling. Nabisco even printed a recipe for mock apple pie on their packaging during World War II. While Ritz crackers no longer dominate the cracker market the way they did when they first debuted, due in large part to Nabisco's near monopoly in the industry at the time, they have continued to be popular throughout the decades and remained a beloved snack today. I won't say this is the word of God, but thank you.
Thank you, Diego. That was Very interesting reading. I had no idea. This is the time in our service when we, the modern stewards of our church, offer to give what we can to build and sustain the world we envision. For the months of July and August, our plate collection is divided equally between First Parish Needham and the Needham Community Council, which is a local nonprofit that runs, amongst other things, our local food pantry. If you're watching from home and would like to donate to today's offering, you may use our website, uuneedham.org, to make your donation or use our text-to-give procedure outlined in the order of service and on the screen. For those of you here in Parish Hall, you can also use our text-to-give method or donate by cash or check as the collection plate comes around. Thank you for everything you're able to give to help support and sustain this congregation and the vital work of our community partners. Please take these next few moments to give what you can and know it will be gratefully received. May the usher please come forward. Do we have an usher? Oh, thank you, Janice. And where's we don't have a basket. Here, you want to use the singing bowl?
Very tall for this microphone. Is this working? No. Oh yeah, perfect. So what our music director was doing a viaje by travel by Jaime León Ferro. I was like, oh, this is a Colombian composer. What? And I was so happy. I did a little bit of research, 5 minutes coming before church. And I found that he was born in Cartagena, which is a beautiful city to visit if you're doing tourism. Then he moved to the USA. And guess what? He studied with a guy whose name, maybe it's in the history, but he learned from Clara Schumann. Clara Schumann. I don't want to say this sounds horrendous when you define someone as married to, but Clara Schumann, that last name. I was like, oh. And then he was also director of the orchestra, or the Boston Orchestra, that one, but in Colombia, the Philharmonic. And he did a lot of poetry, Colombian and Ecuadorian poetry, composed music for those poems. And I was like, what? Beautiful. So thank you very much for doing that. Now this is the sermon. So, hola, comunidad, community, comunidad of First Parish Needham, or I don't know how to pronounce it, Boston, Massachusetts accent, but hello, my name is Diego Garrido. I am a Latino aspirant in this denomination, sometimes gay, sometimes an alien, a human, and you may find me at the gay bar singing Chapel Roan. I am very happy to be here in this Unitarian Universalist umbrella of traditions, stories, principles, values, committees, manifestos, heretics, reformers, healers, weavers, and yes, crackers. Thank you. I came to this faith and to this denomination in a weird transition of my life. Let me go back just a little bit. I was raised Catholic in a family that prayed and ate together. We went to Catholic school, went to Catholic seminaries, to 2 Catholic seminaries. Then, back in Colombia, I switched to Methodism, in a church inclusive and affirming. But I still felt connected in some way to my Christian groundings, but less and less interested in their salvation or the idea that I needed to be saved. I often say you can joke with me about the Trinity or the ontological need for incarnation, but don't mess with my Colombian coffee. I said this in the meeting with the board of worship and all that and the church.
And I need to turn on the coffee.
I don't want to see the brand of the coffee, or we'll have troubles and I'll stop the service. I'm joking. Fight me about which is the best coffee, and we can have problems. For me, community of Needham, this sacred text, or any sacred text, became less and less a checklist of obligations to get to heaven, and it became a gift, more a tradition where I was born into, a story that I had received and that tried to speak to me or maybe about me. I became UU because I found a community to talk more about coffee than those theologies or any theology of God. I was like, no. Now, I wonder if you had received something, if you could think something that was before you were born, if you could name a tradition you received, if those traditions could say something about you or the world. And maybe if you believed in them or you just left them. In my life, this might sound funny or not, but to be more Christian, I left Christianity. I went to the Buddhist Zen masters, Hermann Hesse, Siddhartha, Milan Kundera, the unbearable lightness of being, or you can just watch the movie. I found a community in the books, UU by virtue, in spirit, away from Boston or the transcendentalist. I found a community that could share a story of myself without a checklist for salvation. That is why I found my way to be more authentic as a Unitarian Universalist. I felt joyful in a place where to fight about coffee rather than theology was okay. I felt less shameful or guilty if I sang at a gay bar, or if I wanted to challenge the traditions I was born into. I mean, it is encouraged to do so in this tradition. And I was like, what? My calling through this community was not to be a rock, not to be a brick inside a building of strongholds, castles, fortress, neither a basilica or a cathedral. I became a cracker, a UU Ritz cracker, as a way in which my Christianity maybe is just salt, cheese, peanut butter, jelly. My invitation today is to embrace yourselves in ways that feel authentic to you, less fixed, less strong, less heavy. And I still don't know where this calling me is taking me to. Even if I am ordained, I know I don't know what I'm going to do with this calling. A Ritz cracker doesn't know much about life. One story I remember from Christianity was when Jesus said to Peter in the Gospel of Matthew, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church." And I had to think about what my vocation would look like if I had to build a church in a cracker. It's like, in this journey, while I was studying my Master of Divinity, I encountered the UU, Unitarian Universalist Association, in Boston. I migrated to the perfect place to do so, because if I migrated from, San Diego, California, it would be different. But I was like, oh, so many UU churches, and what is this from? Oh, what is these people? What are these people doing? Oh. After coming from hard rock truths, theologies of the Trinity, hard rock catechisms where God was identified in a versicle, I felt I had the chance to think again on my calling, that I could liberate myself from the burden or expectations by just softening them and doing it in community. This community, a UU community. Calling, vocation, I understand it as a Ritz cracker. Something easy to break. And also, because if it's easy to break, it's easy to accept the challenges, the changes. Feeling vulnerable. Have you seen a Ritz cracker before? Have you paid attention to a Ritz cracker? Yeah, it's a circle, right? But how many little holes has this Ritz cracker? Think about it. It's easy. No, 7. Just 7 holes. And I was like, what if I think of the UU values as the holes of a Ritz cracker? I swear, you can do my test. You can do my drug test. I was okay. I wasn't having any smoke, any edibles. I swear. I'm a good boy. But I was so happy thinking about how to liberate and think on ways that that we can go beyond a cross or a symbol, and we could just breathe more. Thinking about this food, my theology became more and more softened, a more softened image of God. One easy to break, one of community and life, carved not by a hammer, but by everyday rituals. As a UU, I was more and more a Ritz cracker, each flower communion, water communion, each stone and candle of joys and sorrows, a chalice, a fellowship agreement, learning the history of this tradition of men and women and all folks of Unitarian Universalists and humanists that ended wars and we are trying to end racism and any phobias. My invitation today is to continue to imagine ways in which your theologies, anthropologies, humanistic ideas, ecologies are more easy to break, more easy to accept rupture, to accept challenges, to adapt. A life of crumbles and saltines, of crackers in my case. Let me go to the other part of the sermon, because I promised I was going to speak about a book. The book I am sharing with all of you today is by Reverend Dr. Patrick Reyes, and it's called Purpose Gap. I had to read it for a discernment workshop this summer in New York. And I wanted to share this with you because it's not just for people of color or Latinos, but it's also a message for all of us. Patrick Reyes was born in a Chicano family in California, and this book is a search to understand the reasons, conditions, and the context where he was born, a way of giving back to his community. His book reflects on his cousin, a man who was born with the same conditions as him, but ended up being called a criminal, an addict of substances, and another man that died in the context of criminalization and violence. The author realizes through the book that he could have had the same future, but what kept him apart from that condemnation, that fate, was again community. That is why what we tell ourselves or about ourselves matters. Maybe the day is gray, but you have made up a feeling connected to the weather. One thought, positive or negative, a judgment. If the community had named his cousin, had embraced him, had had the chance to love him, maybe he could have not ended as he did. So the responsibility in this case, it's a community responsibility. And one of those terms he uses is internalized oppression, self-punishment, when you call yourself and you treat yourself in ways that are harmful. Oh, I can't, or I am the worst, or little thing, poquita cosa, that kind of terminologies. And I'm like, no, stop it, no. Because it's not just you telling that about yourself. It's that you are treating yourself in that way and you're replicating that to the community that surrounds you. Because how this community is going to look at you, it's also going to be like a mirror. You are seeing yourself as little. How is going to be that relationship with the community? How are you uplifting others if you just don't uplift yourself? So, in this term, your vocation is not related to a degree you have. It's not related to a career you have. It's not even related to the years of service that you've committed to an enterprise or a company. It's related on the way you tell a story about yourself, about other people that can uplift each other. We are not in the Titanic. We are not in a sinking boat and there's like a violin here and everyone is desperate to find their little boat. If we are community, we are all of us together lifting up each other to go to the same boat. Not each other. I'm using that image and that sounds like we have seen the movie and the beautiful Leonardo DiCaprio, right? But again, it's lifting up each other. Or then what are we doing? What's the purpose? Like each of us have a good meal in the house and no matter to come off this Sunday. It's, Your vocation is not a house by the lake or a car like the Elvis Presley pink Cadillac. Our calling as we're gathering community then is to share resources, to share our values, to support one and to another, and to name each other. What I mean by this is that to close the gap is something step by step, paso a paso, story after story, person after person. I took the story of the Bible where Jesus names Peter a rock and I made it a cracker. Who's going to stop me? My story of migration was possible thanks to my mother that saved every penny and made lentils for dinner. My father worked extra hours. My brother migrated first. The sacrifice of being here in this country, losing my grandfather without being able to be with him, leaving away books, friends, lovers. My community shapes the story I also tell about myself. And yes, let's dream about Ritz. The hotel Ritz, sure, just like the name of that Ritz crackers. But let us dream of a Ritz hotel where each of us can share and thrive, not pay for a night. Maybe my Christianity is no longer Christianity. Sure, a crumble of a tradition. And with those crumbles, I can still make the crust of an apple pie. Maybe this denomination, as anything, transforms also and is learning to bake an apple pie. And the part of our values is, yes, transformation. What are the values or the stories we carry with us? Can we center them in love? For Patrick Reyes, community gave him purpose. It closed the gap. It transformed it. For his cousin, the criminal, that same community condemned him. I wonder today what it is that we value the most as universalists, Unitarians, humanists, atheists, anything in between and not in between that we say about us. I'm going to finish, I promise. Imagine if love was at the center of our stories and our vocation. Let us stop for a second and think about it. A love that doesn't need a degree or a membership. A love that does not hold contracts or signatures. Maybe polyamory, who says? A love where languages can understand each other without Google Translator. And that each faith and tradition can also accept its crumbles. A heart made of crackers, easy to break its walls and borders. Thank you.
I wish more people had come here to hear that. But I'm glad that you are all here. So our second hymn is Our World is One World by Cecily Taylor. It's in your gray hymnal number 134 on your orders of service, and I believe it'll be on the screen. So thank you, Chris. Before we extinguish our chalice, we have a few announcements. Sue King reports that they collect the Red Cross, which had a blood drive here yesterday, collected 19 pints of blood, so including from a few of us parishioners. So thank you for that. There is a great need for blood. I've used a lot of blood products over the last few months, so I really appreciate people donating. Sunday night book group meets tonight at 7:30. Something that was not in the bell notes, the Green Congregation Committee will be meeting Tuesday evening at 7:30 on Zoom to plan our year's activities. So you can see me at the end of service if you want to find out more about it. We hope you'll join us. There'll be a celebration of life service for longtime former member Chris Gordon on September 6th at 11 a.m. And in-gathering water communion service will be held on September 7th in the sanctuary. Rick Vincent is this week's Pastoral Care Associate, and you can check your summer bell notes. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick, you're here. I need new glasses. Rick is right there. Raise your hand, Rick. He's our Pastoral Care Associate this week. So I can't believe I didn't see you there. I was looking too. So you can check your summer bell notes for all the other announcements. So now, as we extinguish our chalice today, please join me wherever you are in saying the words written by Unitarian Universalist Minister Reverend Elizabeth Selly Jones, which can be found in your orders of service and on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment.
These we carry in our hearts
until we are together again.
Just 3 blessings and very weird cracker blessings, but may crackers remind you that your vocation is not to make, do, or say, or to have a house by the lake, or to break hard rock theologies, but to break hard rock theologies, tough conversations, high ultimate truths, and entitled extractivism. Second blessing, may you look at the values of you use as you look at crackers, Ritz crackers, with holes to let the air bake them, with warmth and just the right amount of salt. May you center love in this community, being generous, learning that transformation happens when we give ourselves. Amen. May it be. Thank you. Gracias.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Chris. I heard a bit of the Ave Maria in there too. Was that wasn't
It's
the Ave?
similar, no.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful hymn. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Diego, for leading this inspiring service. It was most enjoyable. And to and to each of my fellow congregates, our community here, for joining together in worship today. Please stay and join us for some social time together after this, now that the service is over. We actually have Colombian coffee back there. I can make more if we drain it. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Aw.
That was sounded like that was
It sounds similar, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, okay.
Very similar.